You know, I tell you, 2016 has been a bad year for some amazing artists. Merle Haggard died. Before that, David Jones. That was his real name. No, not my dad, David Bowie. And now Prince has been found dead of a mystery flu at his home. That story crashed the TMZ website. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. Drudge Report yesterday had its top headline, the coveted top Drudge headline, authorities buying more riot control gear over fear of civil unrest sweeping America. Millionaires fleeing Chicago over fear of civil unrest. We have stacks of articles, and they're trying to claim, oh, because of Trump. No, it's because of the economy about to implode and the bad trade deals with China. Now, Roger Stone's with us for the rest of the hour. He joins us once a week. Very busy guy, obviously, and helping and working with Donald Trump, his business partner, obviously, pretty much the new campaign head. And you see a lot of really savvy things happening. Big wins, obviously, have taken place. He's just been up in New York. I don't know how much inside baseball he can tell you. He always has huge info, but I've been plugging for an hour and a half. This is coming. It's 2 minutes long. It's up on Infowars.com. Donald Trump releases video, an emergency warning to the American people. And the headline's tongue-in-cheek. I mean, he did do the video. He did do the parable of the snake in the last 6 months a bunch. But we put powerful graphics and video to it. It needs to go viral. This is important because people are really concerned about the open borders. We're going to play this and then go right to Roger Stone, researcher, best-selling author, Trump insider, entrepreneur, you name it, worked in a whole bunch of administrations. And everything he's told us has turned out to be absolutely on target. I've never had a political analyst or pundit be this accurate. I really just, it's amazing. I get to know Roger Stone the last year. But let's go to the video. It's only 2 minutes long. It needs to go viral. You put it on your Facebook, Twitter, tweet it at Trump, Drudge, everybody. This is important. Donald Trump releases emergency video. Here it is.
On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Oh, well," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in, by now you might have died." She stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bit me, heavens why. You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in."
Ladies and gentlemen, that video needs to go viral. It's on Infowars.com. We're going to put a longer version out soon with top military folks talking about the fact that this Islamic invasion is economic warfare, cultural warfare, just like Donald Trump said the China deal, the unfair deals, is economic warfare. So this is salvo one on a bunch of pro-Trump, pro-reality videos we're about to be putting out. Roger Stone joins us now. Roger, you're in New York, you're in Florida, you're in California, you're all over the place. Where are you today? I know you were in New York the last few days in those big, important powwows. So let's talk about the new order of the Trump campaign that I know you don't like to brag, but that you've been seminal in working towards. And then we're going to get into moving forward, the big rally that you and others are organizing for the integrity of the popular vote, and so much more.
Well, Alex, I'm actually in Florida today, where the Republican National Committee is meeting in Hollywood, Florida for 3 days as the run-up to the Republican National Convention. I am very, very excited about the big win in New York. I think it was a manifestation of the new focus of the Trump campaign. But let me be really clear. The changes made to Donald Trump's campaign were made by Donald Trump. He's the big picture man, and I am merely a supporter, as is Paul Manafort, his new convention director and essentially the guy guiding the campaign towards the magic number of 1,237. This was a big victory in New York, and I think it shows a new technology on the part of the Trump people. I think they very skillfully overlaid Donald Trump's very effective public appearances and rallies with those congressional districts that were most competitive, and they emerged not only with a sweep, but with tricky Ted Cruz running a really poor, and I would argue embarrassing, third. So it is interesting to me that as we go forward, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, I see these as Trump country. These are places where both public and private polls show Donald Trump with strong leads. And Ted Cruz is now reduced to bragging about South Dakota and Montana. And while those are wonderful states, they're small states in the far west where I frankly think Trump is still competitive. So I don't see Ted Cruz being competitive in any of the states moving forward. California, of course, is the big enchilada. Now, in all honesty, I can tell you as someone who's experienced in 9 Republican presidential campaigns, California is too big to organize on a grassroots basis. I love grassroots activity. I'm obviously for it, but I view it as gravy. This is the ultimate media state, and it's a state where celebrity has great importance. Donald Trump is, of course, the ultimate celebrity. He has a star quality that no other candidate can match. His campaigning, as I think you have seen, Alex, has become more focused and more effective in just days since a leadership change in his campaign. So I am more bullish than ever before that he will get 1,237 votes on the first ballot. And before I stop and let you ask a question, let me say I'm also more bullish that we can shed enough light on the corrupted system to stop the steal that the party regulars have in mind in the event that Donald Trump does get 1,237 delegates.
Let me ask you this question. Obviously, you want to talk about Donald Trump, you want to talk about winning, you want to talk about the campaign, but so much of it is about the campaign, and people want to know, now that there has been a lot of leadership change, you're a team player, but just to let us know why that leadership is so good, your business partner and others basically more and more heading up the campaign. What is the real structure of the campaign? I mean, isn't it just Trump, and then he has a group of advisors he talks to, and whoever really is the head is the person that he actually listens to the most? Because I am seeing a lot more sophistication come in. That's question number one, Roger. Then number two, and this is obviously even more important, is the Republican Party really warming to him, or do they realize that it's backfiring on them, stealing these primaries, and so they're going to play possum until they get to Cleveland?
Well, let me say a couple things. First of all, unlike these career politicians that we're so used to, Donald Trump runs Donald Trump's campaign. He's his own strategist, and he decides the pace of the campaign, the message of the campaign, the campaign stops of the campaign, and those of us who support him really key off of his leadership. So this idea that he is scripted or programmed or managed or coached is really inaccurate. Now, I do think you've seen a new discipline on the candidate's part as he begins to focus on wrapping up this nomination and then taking on Hillary Clinton. At the same time, and the New York Times noted this on page 1, his presentation on primary in New York was very disciplined, where he stayed focused on jobs, trade, and immigration and terrorism as the big 4 issues that I think ultimately will sweep him to the White House. I think there is a growing recognition within the Republican Party that Trump will be the ultimate nominee. And therefore, you have, I think, some number of those in the establishment beginning to recognize that not only is he the likely nominee, but he's a more than competitive contender against the very flawed candidacy of Hillary Clinton. You may have noticed on Tuesday night when he referred to her as crooked Hillary. What politician would have the cojones to do that? He's taking her on frontally. He's calling it like it is. He is pointing out to the American people that she is desperately corrupt.
That's right. None of the other candidates will ever take on the Democrats for their corruption. Trump's willing to do it, and that's why he's ahead of her in most polls and gaining. That's why so many Democrats are announcing they're switching over to him, so many blacks and others, because the truth is people are seeing through this more and more. This is amazing. So I want to talk about how they're going to try to stop him, because obviously they're still going to try some dirty tricks. But looking at this and looking at where it's all going, back to the campaign, let me crystallize this then. You're saying Trump is his own man. Everybody knows that. He makes pretty much all the big decisions. He does have advisors to bounce things off of. But now he's got more of a seasoned team that can carry out his wishes and his master plan better. He has a more complete support group to be more disciplined. Is that what you're saying?
Well, and beyond that, he has a newer level of competence. Look, Donald Trump sets the pace in his own campaign. He has from the beginning, and I think it's what the American people are finding refreshing and interesting about his candidacy. The fact that he isn't scripted, that he's not reading off a teleprompter, that he's not operating off of polling or sophisticated focus groups that tell him what he needs to say in order to be popular.
He's operating off his gut, dead reckoning, and his own moral compass.
Yeah, exactly right. But now, when he gives an instruction, he has competent people to carry it out. And I think it was demonstrated in the victory.
So he's the field marshal, but he's got some more competent generals.
That's a fair way to put it. I'm very optimistic, for example, about Pennsylvania. Now, Alex, Pennsylvania has an extremely convoluted delegate selection process. It, in essence, has what amounts to a beauty contest and a delegate contest on the same day. Therefore, people who want to vote for Trump delegates need to know who the Trump delegates are, because it's not clearly indicated on the ballot. That is a massive communications challenge. I do think that there is growing sophistication now on the Trump campaign in Pennsylvania. Jim Schultz, former top assistant to the last Republican governor, David Urban, longtime assistant in the U.S. Senate, two of the most knowledgeable guys in Pennsylvania, people who know the county chairman, people who know the dynamics.
So he's got the experts he needs. So I've seen Fox and CNN now go to the point of saying, okay, it looks like Trump will probably get the 1236, 1237. So you've predicted everything with almost complete accuracy. It's scary, Roger. Usually folks put some spin on things. I mean, you just put it out so dry, so accurate. So inside baseball here, because the troops want to know, what do we have to worry about? How will the empire strike back? I'm looking what some big, huge scandals they bring out right before the week before the convention, and then say for conscience the delegates are going against Trump or something like that. What are the dirty tricks we've got to look out for?
Well, you've already seen some of this today in planted stories in Politico, making the case that some of those who are volunteers, by the way, in the reordered Trump campaign have worked as lobbyists, some of them as long ago as 20 and 30 years ago. Extraneous. They don't run Trump, Trump runs them. And Trump is his own man. And he has no fear of taking on the Republican establishment and challenging the Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama orthodoxy when it comes to our fiscal situation, our trade situation, our immigration policy, or our failed interventionist foreign policy. But these attacks, trying to say that some of those now volunteering for the Trump campaign have worked in the past as lobbyists, this is the kind of disinformation that they're trying to use.
Sure, he's trying to end the lobbyist system. He's exposing it, so they claim he's that. They're also going, now his advisors are going to get him to use a teleprompter in policy. This shows he's scripted, but then they have to admit, but he said, no, I'm not going to use a teleprompter. I mean, they are just spinning everything.
Yeah, it's mostly extraneous inside baseball. Let's cut to the bottom line. Alex, I'm going to say it again. There will be no second ballot. Donald Trump will achieve 1,237 votes on the first ballot. It's then, once he has that locked up, but prior to the vote, that we have to look for the big steal. And I've outlined on Breitbart and at Infowars.com exactly how this will work. Either in the Rules Committee or the Credentials Committee, the Cruz, Bush, Romney cabal will attempt to unseat Trump delegates to undermine his majority. And then they will seek to stop those delegates from voting on their own fate before the entire convention when they ratify the big steal. That's why I have been so insistent that it's important that Trump supporters reach their duly elected delegates, particularly their Trump delegates, and ask them to take a voluntary pledge to support Donald Trump on all ballots.
That's a canvassing.
Chief, it sheds light on who the rats are. It sheds light on who are the Trojan horses, the Quislings, the hacks who have been inserted into
That's
Trump.
right. We've got to investigate the so-called Trump delegates because we know they're infiltrating their people, and the media acts like that's evil for us to engage in First Amendment activities. That's our civic duty.
Well, and they try falsely to imply that we've advocated violence against these people. What we've advocated is outing them, exposing them as betraying the Democratic.
That's right. Stay there, Roger Stone. We're coming right back to talk about Ted Cruz. I want to get into that. And also want to talk about the rally coming up to defend free speech. It's amazing, folks, what's happening. This is an incredible time to be alive. Roger Stone of StoneZone.com is our guest.
I want more candy. I want more video games. Lie, lie, lie.
And it's that type of behavior that spurred me to do the research to develop a true nutraceutical formula that was designed to smooth out and help children focus. All of our children are hit with modern mind control. Television, music, fast food, GMOs, sugars, you name it. Young humans have not yet developed their nervous system and are being hammered daily by globalist concoctions. It's no wonder they can't focus and calm down and then are put on dangerous psychotropic drugs. Working with my team, we set out to find the best formula with the highest quality ingredients that children would actually like and take. We worked with the leading manufacturer in nutritional supplements that are safe for children to bring you the most affordable and powerful calming formula out there. Introducing Child Ease with herbs and calming extracts like chamomile and lemon balm and essential nutrients that taste great. Obtain your Child Ease today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's Child Ease exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com.